Mr. Mayor, we are live.
Great, thank you. So today is June 15th, 2022. The time is 7:04 p.m. and I'm calling to order the Baltimore Park City Council regular meeting. Just to double check, is there Pastor Jackson here today? Pastor Jackson, do you mind leading us in an invocation?
Honor, thanksgiving, good, and acknowledge it. You said to acknowledge you in all of our ways and you would direct our path. And Baldwin Park needs your divine direction, Lord. And we're asking you, Father God, in touching the city council, the mayor, and all of those that have to make decisions in betterment Baldwin Park. Lord, there's decisions that need to be made on taxes and etc. And we need the right decision. Lord God, we're asking you in touching our schools, Father. They need your attention, Lord God, and touching our young people and leading, guiding them also in the right direction, Lord God, breaking the power of gangs, breaking the power of drugs, Father God, bringing forth relationship with the children and their parents and the father and their sons, Lord. We need you in this community, Lord. We need you in our police department, Lord, that you would lead the chief in what to do and how to do it, Lord. And those that are riding around to protect, Lord, that they be protected as well from all hurt, harm, or danger as they are out there in the streets, Lord. Same with our fire department, Lord. Every aspect of the mechanism of this city called Baldwin Park, we need you. Touch our businesses, Lord God. Our businesses need to be lifted up and being prosperous in this new day and age. Touch our soldiers that are out there, Lord. We are on the brink of something, Lord, but we're asking for your divine protection. In the name of the Lord, we pray. Amen.
Please stand. We're going to go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you're able to stand, please join us in standing. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Thank you. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Alejandra Avila.
Here.
Councilmember Monica Garcia.
Here.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Good to hear.
Mayor Manuel Estrada.
Here.
And City Treasurer Maria Contreras. Oh, she's... Okay, thank you.
Is Marie with us today?
She's not.
It isn't. Okay, well, I heard it was her birthday today, so whether maybe she's listening in, she knows that we're wishing her a very, very happy birthday. We look forward to seeing her soon. And announcements. The City Council are also members of the Board of Directors of the Housing Authority and Finance Authority, which are concurrently convening with the City Council this evening, and each council member is paid an additional stipend of $30 for attending the Housing Authority meeting and $50 for attending the Finance Authority meeting. Moving on to our proclamations, commendations, and presentations, we do have some presentations for, first off, our Baldwin Park High School baseball team, which just recently became champions. So we want to welcome you up here to the dais. We can and we have some awards for you. Names. Okay. As you come up here, I'm going to read out your names. So if you're here, take your certificate, or maybe hold it for me. Yeah. So the city.
We'll give it to the coach.
The City of Baldwin Park is proud to recognize you for your hard work and dedication and for winning the first CIF Southern District Section Division 7 Championship in 40 years. We congratulate all members of the team for your outstanding athletic performances this season and thank you for inspiring the next generation of baseball players in your school and the entire Baldwin Park community. We have Ricardo Rodriguez.
Coaches, we're gonna call their names. Here you
There you go. We have Michael Martinez. Jordan Davis.
We'll clap for everybody at the end.
Tommy Villanueva. Christian Escamilla. Jason Martinez. Ivan Munoz. Gus Melero. Isaiah Ariza. Kenneth Ramos. Giovanni Lopez. Damian Andrade. Paolo Carrera. Adam Benavides. Luis Carranza. John Salas. Yes, Esquivel. Gustavo Trujillo. I think these are your coaches, Jacob Berendrich. Fun fact, my sophomore high school teacher, history teacher, John Elo. And Jonathan Huerta. Jonathan Huerta. What about Daniel Escobedo? Is he here? All right, so these are
Coaches.
give us a little bit about your championship.
Coaches.
I definitely wasn't ready for this one, so I'll do my best. But first, we're honored. We're honored to be here. A long time, 40 years. It's since our last CIF championship. I can say more just about these guys right here. They work their tails off every single day. And they battled every game until they got the championship. So, CIF Division 7 champions. We also went to the state championship. We lost in the final, but these guys made it. And like I said, we couldn't be more proud of them. So thank you for having us.
Go ahead, Monica. Okay, I'll go ahead and go. I want to congratulate the team and their coaches for putting all that time and believing in your students. I asked the coach, did you cry when you won? He said, no. I would have cried, and I know probably some parents cried because it's exciting to see your child up there working. They go to school, they stay after school, they practice, they come home, they probably just eat, go to sleep. So that was probably your schedule back then when you were making sure that you were going to win this championship. So I congratulate you for being so responsible and knowing what you wanted and achieving what you wanted. But I also want to thank the parents. The parents have a lot to do with this because I'm sure you were with them all along the way and you rooted them on throughout the time. Because without a good leadership from the parents, we wouldn't have these champions here in front of us. And then we have the leadership of our coaches that our district picked to make sure they came and coached our students. So congratulations to the students, to the coaches, to the parents, and our school district for doing an amazing job. You keep it up. You show what a leader is. So I hope that you continue to do that. Congratulations once again.
Our head coach isn't here, but so he's on vacation enjoying Europe. But obviously we couldn't have done it without him. We wish he was here, but he did get recognized as the Division 7 Coach of the Year, and he also got recognized as the San Gabriel Valley Coach of the Year. So, Jake Berenger. And Jordan Davis, our Division 7 Player of the Year as well. So.
Well, I just want to take the opportunity to let you all know how proud we are of you, of this major accomplishment at such a young age. You'll never forget this moment that you created for yourselves and for your community. I know Coach Hilo and we went to school together along with Coach Jake. And years ago, we were in the CIF championship and became champions for football. And we have never forgotten that moment. And that's what you guys have created for your community. So you should absolutely be proud of yourselves for not only what you showed in this season, but all the years of hard work and discipline. So just want to say that you guys are a great representation of our community. And we are so proud of you. Move forward, remember this moment, carry it with you. Much, success to you in your future endeavors. And just remember that, we support you in all that you do. And we will never forget that you guys did this for your community, for Baltimore Park. Thank you. Oh, and I wanted to also mention, I'm wearing blue for in honor of you guys. I also went to Baltimore Park High School, once a brave, always a brave. So, so I wanted to make sure that, you guys really know how much we appreciate you, want to recognize you. And we also want to blast you guys across the city on our billboards, in the Now newsletter, on our social media. So, make sure you guys get your due recognition. And I also want to acknowledge the parents because it takes so much commitment. You probably have countless hours of driving your kids to practice and being there to cheer them on in the good times and the bad. And, kudos to you. I give you so much, recognition. And it's not even, it's like there are no words for all that you've done, to create this moment for these kids. And like I said, you won't forget this moment. It carries with you. And I know that, from my own personal experience, but just want to recognize you guys. So congratulations, all of you.
Perfect. Before I start, I'd like to ask the two team captains to come up and please say some words on behalf of your team. Come on. Don't be shy.
My name is Martinez, and I'm a senior this year. This is my first year semester in BP, and being a senior, my first semester kind of sucked, but I decided I wanted to spend the rest at BP. So, that was honestly the biggest risk I've ever taken. I didn't even know what I was gonna come into, but I was excited, and I'm honestly glad I did because, these guys are great. I love it here, and we won a championship. So
enough said.
My name is Jordan Davis, and I'm a junior. I'm a team captain for this Baltimore Park Braves team. And honestly, we couldn't have done it with everybody here. Crazy run, but it was enjoyable with these guys.
Thank you. Coach Huerta, do you mind saying some few words for us, please? Not gonna get out.
Well, everything that happened, it's based off their hard work, like Hilo said. I do want to recognize our first team all-league guys. Gordon Davis.
Come up so we can.
Escamilla. Ricky.
What happened, Ricky?
Your name spelled wrong, Ricardo?
First team, they had the highest batting average during league. They had the best average. No. Second best average. Sorry. Other than that, like Jordan said, he led this team when we needed a leader. He stepped up, and everybody went on, joined the ride, and we're CIF champions. Yeah.
Repeat next year.
That's it. Coach, how many freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors do you have here?
Well, again, I just first and foremost want to thank the parents, because you can imagine this is something that you have all been working towards for quite some time, taking them to Little League, buying the Capri Suns when they were younger, and all those other fun activities that goes along with that. And for the coaches, thank you again for creating an environment of building a leadership team that's able to go through diversity, but more importantly, come out as winners, regardless if they would have won, all their games or not. These individuals are a product of our city, and we're going to hold you for quite some time in great memories. And this is just the first step in your young careers. As I asked you all, what's the next steps for some of you? Some of you are college bound. Some of you are considering other opportunities. Just remember the lessons learned through the teamwork, through the associations that you have with your team, with your membership, and your friends and your colleagues, because these are all people that you can come back and rely on, during your successes in life. And I suspect we'll see some of you folks back here next year. So thank you. Repeat.
So, okay, how many of you are freshmen?
How many are freshmen?
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, sophomore? 2, okay, 3 of you. Junior? Okay, and then senior. Okay. Well, that shows you that we're going to have a lot of talent still moving forward in the next years, right? So we look forward to seeing you here again next year and the year after.
No pressure.
Before we take a nice picture, I do want to invite the school district staff, because I know you guys are here. Dr. Mendoza, assistant principal, Dr. Angela Salazar,
Mayor, I believe
and our
there's,
board member Robles.
Mayor, I believe there's certificates from the assembly members.
Yes.
Where's the assembly woman?
Miss, right here, Veronica.
And then we have Veronica Lopez. So Veronica Lopez, you want to representative for Blanca Rubio's office?
Also the state senator.
And we have State Senator Giselle.
I didn't even see her.
You guys must be so proud. I love this. Yeah, I bet.
Thank you for your work.
Oh, no, of course. Good to see you.
Hi, good to see you again. It's been a little while.
I ran on the
Oh, that's right. Today.
Represent.
Even though I'm a Don.
Excuse me.
As a proud alumni of 1984, I too am so proud of these guys back here. And I'm also want to say thank you and to all the parents. I know what it takes as a proud mother, proud team mom of softball, track and field, cross country, and band. I know what it takes. So thank you. And students, kids, I do want you to thank your parents, your families, and all your support system, because they're there to support you as well, no matter what. So with that said, I do have certificates on behalf of Assemblywoman Blanca Rubio for the coaches and for all of our athletes. For our coaches, I would like to say thank you so much for your leadership and guidance that led this team to a successful baseball season. So thank you so much. But also in recognition to thank Coach Jake Berendreth for his San Gabriel Valley Tribune Coach of the Year, as well as CIF Southern Section Division Coach of the Year as well. So thank you so much for that. And for the students, save time, I'll pass this out later. To the students, congratulations on your CIF Southern Section Division 7 Baseball Championship. We are so proud of you. Assemblywoman Rubio sends her congratulations to each and every one of you. And I'm glad that you guys are all going to come back next year. We'll be here next year again. But I do have 3 special recognitions for our all CIF Southern Section Division baseball team and our Southern Section, all CIF Southern Section Player of the Year, Jordan Davis. He got 2, so he got not only the CIF champion in baseball, Division 7, all CIF Southern Section Division 7 Player of the Year, San Gabriel Valley Tribune All Area Baseball Team, and all CIF Southern Section Division 7 baseball team. Congratulations. As well as I have the all San Gabriel Valley Tribune all area baseball team to Christian Scamilla and Tammy Villanueva. And again, to save time, I do have certificates for each and every one of the players that the coach will pass out. Thank you so much.
Everyone, Giselle Soriel here on behalf of State Senator Susan Rubio. Wow, as a Apache, I'm really jealous and want to be a Brave right now. You all are just absolutely exceptional. What a stellar bunch of gentlemen to lead the way and make it all the way to the CIF Division 7 champs. So happy to see that the majority of you will be coming back next year and can't wait to watch you continue to lead Baldwin Park into continuous baseball success. To your coaches, this couldn't have happened without your amazing leadership. And I believe you all are Braves as well, right? Coming back and bringing your team. That's just amazing. It truly takes a village. And it truly takes a community. So, you know, and the fact that you all are coming back and lifting as you climb is just a testament to your leadership and just the dedication of you all as individuals. So family, congratulations. Students, congratulations. And on behalf of Senator Susan Rubio, here are your second certificates from our office. And we are just so excited to watch you continuously grow and succeed in your athletic accomplishments. So on behalf of State Senator Rubio, congratulations on this outstanding athletic accomplishment. Your dedication and perseverance has paid off in becoming the CIF Division 7 champs.
Well, on behalf of the Board of Education and the entire district, we do want to congratulate our incredible Braves team. Congratulations to all of you. One thing that, that they've learned not only on the field, but also as students and young adults coming up, they've learned perseverance, especially in light of everything that's been going on. So I do want to congratulate all of you for getting through all the tough times. I know it's been tough, but you made it through. We do want to congratulate you and just continue the great work that you are doing. Thank you.
Do you want to say something? City
I'm here smiling. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hi. Hello, everyone. One of the first things the students said when they came to accept their awards was they immediately recognized their team. And I think that is the key for their success. They knew they couldn't do it as individuals playing the game. They needed the support of the whole team. So I'm very proud of you for recognizing that this is a team effort and for caring so much for each other. That's really exciting. I really appreciate your words. Thank you so much for bringing up the fact that it is through sports, through things that our kids like to do together and enjoy doing together that bring community together. So this is a great source of pride, and my heart is warm. Thank you for all your kind words.
Thank you. You know, they say that Baldwin Park is ghetto, because my kids used to tell me that, Mom, they say Baldwin Park is ghetto. But what you gentlemen did by winning this championship, you took us to a totally different level. And I always would tell my kids, and when they would tell me, I would respond, well, you live in Baldwin Park, then you produce something positive in Baldwin Park, and people will not talk Baldwin Park or consider Baldwin Park being ghetto. You guys took us to that different level, and we are so proud of you. And I was sitting here smiling because throughout the games that you were playing for the championship, I kept looking at my Facebook to see what were the results, and I was so thrilled when I heard that you had won the championship. You guys have really placed Baldwin Park on the map, on the San Gabriel Valley map, no doubt. Coaches and parents, thank you for the love that you express to your children, the support. I've always said that's so important. My daughter went to Baldwin Park High School. She's also a Brave. And with all the hard work, dedication, investment that she placed in the school, she was accepted to UCLA and now is a registered nurse. So you can accomplish your dreams if you work hard, and you know what it is to work hard, because through the pandemic, when you couldn't play, you came out and played your heart out, and this is where we're at today. Thank you so much. We are so, so proud of you. Thank you. Congratulations.
Mayor, if I may?
Yes, go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, I just want to say congratulations. You know, you are just proof of the talent that we have in this community. I know my brother would be very proud to see you guys win CIF champions. To Coach Jake, congratulations. I know he's not with us, but congratulations to all of you guys. And just know that you guys make us as a city very proud, but especially someone who went to Baltimore Park High School like Councilmember Garcia. We're extremely proud. So congratulations once again. Thank you.
I just want to point out that Mayor Pro Tem Vice Mayor Damian also wore his blue proudly for all of you today.
Yeah. Ready?
You know how it is. When the players double up, the shorter ones go in the front, let's make 2 rows. Well, we can have it the other way.
Shorter ones in the front.
No, I'm not even in the picture. You guys can space home.
Number 9 goes in the back.
Am I blocking you?
A little bit.
Figure it out, boys. Figure it out.
Everybody in?
I think it was Ken.
We're gonna take a picture now with
Yeah, good to see you.
Oh, break it down.
Break it down. Break it down. Whatever it is.
Seniors take us out.
All already got his ring.
They said I got the name.
Okay, you guys do that.
Nice and loud, huh?
Seniors take us out. Last one.
Come on, Jason.
Mike, all 3. Well, all 3. Seniors take us out. All right, go.
Dr. Froyland Mendoza, we have one more presentation, the robotics.
1, 2, 3, rise!
Repeat. That was just a warm-up.
Ready? Braves on 3. 1, 2, 3, rise!
Oh shit. Stop moving. My bad. Here, look. 1, 2, 3.
Congrats, guys. Congrats. Enough wall space for all that stuff, dude? Good job. Oh, brother.
Enjoy your break.
Yeah.
You deserve
Work
it.
for us.
You deserve it.
Right?
Oh, they have it. And then next, we'd like to welcome up our next group of champions. We have the STEM Academy Robotics team.
Yeah, STEM.
Well, a couple times. What's up, guys and gals? What's your name? Jonathan. Those were actually really cool. I haven't heard. It's here. It's here. Yeah. Isaiah. What's your name? Jonathan. Did you get anything? Drive with there. You got it right there. Sorry,
See your skills champ right there.
We're gonna go to school. Where do you want to go to college? I like you from.
Ready to get that one.
USC. Yes.
All right, and so before we start off, I want to invite principal from the BP STEM Academy, Mr. Russ, to give us a few words about what's going on today.
All right, great. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. What a great year. As we're looking at our STEM Academy, people are looking at BP STEM Academy. Yes, it's the combination of the two schools, formerly known as Holland Middle School and Santa Fe. We are now one school. Baldwin Park STEM Academy with a focus on STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And this is a small representation of what we do. It was a great season. We have 4 competition teams that compete on a very high level. We started off the season competing in a league, which was amazing, Rio Hondo League. We were league champions there. And during the course of the year, we turned that into a state championship in robotics. As you can see, one of our banners right there. We also then turned that into a divisional world champion as well, too. So we had teams that flew to Iowa to compete in the U.S. Open, where we flew 3 teams to Iowa to compete, and then we had 2 teams that qualified for the World Championships in Dallas, Texas. So we had to fly to Dallas and get our teams there as well, too. Great season, hard work by everybody. Jonathan, you good? Bring it on up here, man. Let's get it going right up here. This is just one of the actual bots that we do have. It is solely constructed by the students to perform very specific tasks. Can't say that it might break it, but. Yeah. So the robots are designed and built and programmed by the students. Each of these robots range from $4,000 to $6,000 a piece. To actually build. They have a brain, they have various motors, and they're designed to perform very specific activities. They are pre-programmed in many cases, called an autonomous mode, which takes months to program to produce activities that are very specific and down to finite measurements that students will learn in their STEM classes while they're actually in school, starting in third grade. So we are very, very proud of our students for what they've done. We're very proud of Baldwin Park Unified School District for supporting this project and supporting us. That goes all the way from our Board of Education through our superintendent, assistant superintendents. It is a lot of work. It is a labor of love. It is like having a sports team. You start in August and you don't end until May. And so it's basically 5 days a week, an hour to 2 hours every day after school, Saturday competitions. I have to thank the parents for being involved because the parents get them to the competitions. And by the way, we compete anywhere from Simi Valley to San Diego during the school year. And so it is a lot of work. They bring food and help us out in many, many ways. And they go on trips with us as well too. So either it's Iowa or Dallas. Again, this is our second state championship too, by the way, in 4 years. So we're progressing. We're making a name for ourselves in Baldwin Park. And again, we thank all of you for your support and for being here.
It's very neat to see our new generation of Baldwin Park residents be involved in STEM and making strides. I know I went to Holland and Santa Fe, when they were Holland and Santa Fe. Yep. So, it's really neat to see campuses being reimagined and focusing on things that will make sure that our children have opportunities in the future. And to the winners behind me, I'm very excited to congratulate you all. I mean, I wish I was doing that when I was your age. Don't worry, I wasn't doing anything bad. But it's very nice to see you guys, and the same way we talked about the Baldwin Park baseball team. It's really neat to see that our youth is making strides. The next generation of Baldwin Park residents are changing the image of the city, not just for the betterment of our community, but for the betterment of yourselves. And like I've said a million times before, we're very excited to start partnering with our school district to make sure that you have these opportunities, because it's important to make sure that our next generation has these opportunities to go out to Iowa, to go out to Texas, to go out to New York. And we've seen that. We've seen it with the baseball team from BP. We've seen it with you guys. We've seen it with individuals winning even English contests, writing contests. So it's very, very important that we acknowledge that and support you. And that's what we're here to do. So congratulations. I'm going to go ahead and recognize you all by name. So we have Italia Cabrera. Amber Lynn Ibanez. Dominic Herrera. Isaiah Dominguez. Josiah Marquez. Michael Trejo. Oh, man. Oh, he's on vacation. Oh, I
have several on vacation right now.
Jonathan Reyes. Nathan Lau. All these people vacationing too. Stephen Nguyen. It's a well-deserved vacation. Stephen Nguyen. Hayden Nguyen. Yeah, Jonathan Lai. Kenny No. Justin Verde. All right, well, we're mailing these out to wherever they are, but go ahead, congratulations. And then if council has any comments, go ahead and take the floor. Oh, the coach.
All right, I'm Kevin Johnson. I'm a teacher at the STEM Academy, and I also have an opportunity to help coach these students along with Tom Lau, who's actually the head coach, that he puts in a lot of time. I want to make sure he gets a lot of recognition because it was kind of his baby and his vision to get this program started. But I just got to say, the kids have done a wonderful job of just coming together as a team, and teamwork is a big deal. I heard that mentioned with the baseball team. The kids are basically around 2 to 4 people on the team, and they each have to learn a specific skill. They bring their strengths here, whether it's building a bot, whether it's programming, whether it's game strategizing. They all have different skills which they bring to the table, and seeing them kind of work together and come together as the season goes on is a great thing to notice. One of the things that the competition does is they require you to team up with another school during the competition match. So you've got to go out and talk with other schools. And back when you go to the Worlds, there's teams from all over the world, literally other countries and whatnot. And so we have to find teams that would pair up well with us. And I think our teams, I know in their X team in particular, found a team that everybody seemed to be overlooking. And they paired up with them in the finals back in Dallas and ended up kind of using that to their advantage. And they ended up winning their division with over 500 teams there in Dallas. All the teams were separated into 7 different divisions. And with a division of about 80 teams, our X teams ended up winning along with their alliance, that division, which is pretty amazing when you consider all the teams there. So the kids learn to communicate. They learn to have a lot of skills that get developed, and I hope they do go on to careers in engineering because of this.
I want to go ahead and congratulate the robotics team. You guys are amazing. I don't even know how to work my iPhone, and you guys are over here building robots and programming and everything that you know that I'm clueless about. So it's so impressive. I'm so proud of you, and I know you will have a good career ahead of you. You already have a career. That's the way I see it. So you will continue to go a long ways. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the parents for supporting them and being there. There's, as a parent, I know the feeling of seeing your child succeed, and you just do whatever you have to do, and you get in that car and drive wherever you have to drive to support your students. So always thank your parents, thank your teachers, your support staff. Our school district has been amazing to be able to provide this program to you guys. And as a city, we're trying to do the same. We're trying to work collaborative with the district so that we can also help provide services, because I also went to Baltimore Park Unified School District, and I know how important it is that as a district and as a city, we provide whatever it is you need to succeed. So congratulations one more time.
Well, this is such a treat that we get to celebrate you here today. How do you guys feel? Excited?
Didn't expect it.
No? Well, I hope that you guys feel very proud of yourselves, because once again, I just want to say that this is an example of the good in Baldwin Park, and what we need to celebrate is the talent. You guys have great talent. You're sharing it with each other, with your community, and beyond by going to these state competitions. And did I hear world champions or something?
Divisional world champion. Yeah.
Okay.
7 divisions, we won one of the divisions.
And that's so incredible, And you're really representing this community so favorably, and we just want to say thank you for doing that. And we want to encourage you to continue to foster that talent, to stay focused on your studies, on your academia, and take it to the limit. Push it as far as it can go. And we'll be we'll be supporting you in spirit. And we have Principal Rust and Mr. Johnson and Mr. Lau, mentors that are helping to foster and create those opportunities too. And we want to say thank you for your commitment to doing that for kids in in our community. And then, of course, want to thank the parents because, again, the commitment of being there for your kids every day and getting them to the places that they need to get to, and without hesitation, I'm sure, right? You just get in the van, you get in the car, you go, and you probably spend days and weekends and all of it. And kudos to you, because you are the foundation, of what's happening here today too. And you're going to be so proud as you see your kids go on to bigger and better things. So kudos to you. Thank you for all that you do. So anyway, proud of you guys, celebrating you, and definitely want to recognize you across the community as well. So thank you.
Everyone else has already said enough great words about you and the folks out in the audience. I also want to bring attention of, the type of young folks that we have in our city. Our team, got recognized. They're still sitting here to support you also as you supported them. the great thing about it is you have great leadership, not only in your teachers as your mentors and your friends, but also the folks at the Baldwin Park Unified School District through their elected officials and through their staff. These are the things that excite people. These are the things that make us want to do more positive things and put more energy and ganas towards success. As I was sitting here listening to each and every one of you, especially the folks out in the audience too, and the parents, there's a saying in the labor movement, that happened quite some time ago called "Si se puede." I don't have to educate you on what that means necessarily, but there's a chant that they used to say, right? Which is exactly what I just said, those 3 words. And what that symbolized was energy, positive energy, to be able to make change for all of us, not necessarily for the folks that you're helping, but the folks behind you. And that goes the same with our folks out in the audience. So I want everyone to help me in a chant here, all right? We're gonna say this nice and loud because I wanna make sure that folks on YouTube could hear this for the record, and for the YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, whatever it is that you guys have out there. So take out your phones, those young folks out there. Come on, we're gonna do this. And we're gonna start this chant here, all right? We're gonna start. I want you to join me, all right? 1, 2, 3. Si se puede, 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 si se puede. Hey! Excellent, excellent. How's that make you feel now? That's right. So again, that's what we want, right? That's the type of change that we want for our city, and that's similar to what the mayor was talking about. This is what Baldwin Park is about. So gracias for everything that you all have been doing, for the parents, to you guys, because this is not the first time we're going to be here. It hasn't been the last time, and we will continue to do this year after year after year. So thank you for making my day, both of you guys.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. Yes, I just want to say, congratulations. You make us proud as residents of this community. You give us that motivation to continue to do the work, to be able to provide the resources and the tools to be able to support you guys and your accomplishments and your achievements. So once again, well-deserved congratulations. I hope to see you guys here year after year. So great work, coaches, teachers. Thank you very much, parents, for supporting these kids, our youth in our community. Just want you guys to know how proud we are of all of you. Thank you very much.
I just want to say quickly, thank you for making us the City of Champions, you guys, because I also was watching the updates on Facebook, and I saw that you guys had won. I just want to I noticed the difference between our champions out in the audience and these champions. Did anybody else notice the difference? There are young women in this championship team here. And yeah, I am so proud. Because let me tell you, women in the field of engineering and what these young women did here, it was never possible in the past. And now we're seeing it possible. And we need to encourage our young women to get involved in the areas of science and mathematics and robotics and engineering. There's so much needed in those areas. And so I want to congratulate the teachers, the coaches for supporting the entire group. For making, again, Baldwin Park a championship city here, and the school district for supporting these programs, and again, the parents for supporting your kids, for loving them, for driving them all over the place to the different destinations so that they can compete. That is so important. Continue with that love and that support. Your kids will succeed in life, trust me. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Very proud.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here on behalf of Assemblywoman Blanca Rubio in the California State Legislature. I'd like to congratulate these great, fine women and on your success at the VEX Robotics World Championship. The coaches would like to say thank you for your guidance and leadership and led the BP STEM Academy to a stellar achievement. Thank you so much. Like I said, I have certificates. Thank them, but also special recognition is ain't so right. No, something ain't right. Well, I'm feeling something went right for you. So congratulations, recipient of Division Gold Medal, Spirit Trophy, and the Spirit Banner. Congratulations and thank you for to the City of Baltimore. Yeah.
Just what an incredible evening. So much to celebrate here in the city of Baldwin Park. You all are such an incredible testament of lifelong dedication, learning. You know, programming isn't easy. There's so much. Yes, exactly. It's nitty oriented. One tiny punctuation mark will mess up your entire product. So the fact that you spent hours to code, to build something when, you know, I can't work my computer half the time. Just, it's incredible. So to investors, that they will continue to pursue this passion is regarding the all the time and the energy after school. I just can't watch you all start your own company and, you know, engineer our way out of all of the issues that we're experiencing. So thank you for going, and congratulations on the first of many wins.
I'm taking turns. So on behalf of the Board of Education and our cabinet, I also want to thank this group, but I want to share with you 3 more tidbits about this team. First, you had mentioned the ladies. We actually have a unique team called Femineers in partnership with Cal Poly Pomona so that we can actually inspire and coach and give that extra boost to our young ladies to be strong in engineering fields. And so it's a great program, and they're competing with the big boys, right? And on that note, that's my other tidbit. This team is middle school. There were high schools at that competition that they won out and became champions over high school players and high school teams. And lastly, it was alluded to, but I want to share some information about our BP STEM Academy, because these are the students who have gone through a few years and made it to this competition level. But next year, we have 200 students taking STEM courses, almost half of the population, and growing. So all of our students are getting exposed to the STEM, especially the engineering and the medical field, to encourage them to go into that field, because we know from workforce and studies that that's where the jobs will be and that's where the gaps are. And so we're producing in Baldwin Park our future leaders to help us to stay vital as an American society. So thank you, and we are going to be looking for you. And like we've seen with our other people in leadership, they're Baldwin Park. This is a great city. So not only are you going to do that, but you're going to come back and do it here, right? Of course. Right on. Thank you.
I love that. We also want to recognize school board member Deanna Robles, who's here with us today. Thank you for your support. And as was mentioned earlier, Superintendent Froilan Mendoza.
Great. So many of you can get a nice picture of us and then go from there.
Squeeze in, squeeze in. Where's your camera?
The big one was...
Where's the robot?
Can you pick it up?
Can you pick it up?
All right.
Go for it, man. Here we go. Hold on, Manny.
Okay, go get that robot.
Put it right here in front of the. Set it up on the pin.
Let's bring up Wally.
Meantime, he does that, so if we can put them on our billboards along the freeway as well, all we're gonna do for the rest of the month is show off our students here in the city of Baldwin Park, so everybody that drives through Baldwin Park sees how wonderful you guys are.
Where's our student?
Don't forget me.
Thank you. Have a great summer, everyone.
All right. Ready? So, all right. So we're ready to move on. And so before we move on to public communication, I do want to request that we acknowledge some of the tragic events that have happened, unfortunately, in a matter of a week. And so I think as we're all aware, last night in the early afternoon, El Monte lost two members of its El Monte Police Department, and that was Officer Joseph Santana and Corporal Michael Parades. And a couple of days before that, here in the city of Baldwin Park, we had another senseless act of violence against Yesli Velasquez and her 6-year-old son, Angel. And so I just want to request that we acknowledge those with a moment of silence. And before we continue, we know that the case here in Cedar Baldwin Park was domestic violence related, and so I do want to remind you all that domestic violence is real, and that there are sources out there, and there are resources, and these resources offer services and things that you might need without judgment, whether it's emergency shelter once you're looking to flee, restraining order services, or even just support groups as you navigate these difficult situations. So you can call the National Hotline of Domestic Violence. The county itself has one, and there's many nonprofits in the San Gabriel Valley that also offer these types of resources. So it's very important that we let our constituents know that these services are readily available for them at no cost.
Mr. Mayor, if I may?
Yes, Councilmember Hernandez.
Oh, thank you. As you mentioned, yesterday was a tragic incident for our neighbors and for our fellow humans and colleagues and friends and family members. I do want to, pay a quick recognition to our police officers, Officer Robles and Serrano, for their assistance yesterday. I know they were there, but they also assisted the mayor in assisting her in getting through the procession and everything else that was needed. So again, just want to thank our officers for assisting our colleagues on the other side during a challenging time and for stepping up. And I just want to thank them and thank the chief for keeping us aware. And, as we've said with their mayor, with Jessica, as we've stated, we're there with them in any which way we could help them and assist them and support them during this time. Thank you.
Mayor, may I?
Yes, Councilmember Avila.
Thank you. I want to send my condolences to the family of the young lady and the baby that lost their lives to this tragic incident. And it all goes back in my mind to gun control. And I feel that as a community, we need to write our representatives and have them be more in support on having tougher laws on gun control. We can't allow these type of situations to happen in our communities or in any community. So I think if we can send a letter to our representatives and push for more gun control in our state, I think it's very important. That was one incident. And then last night, the incident with our police officers, again, gun control, there's none whatsoever. We need to do something. It is not okay for anybody to just be out there purchasing guns, or not even purchasing, getting them illegally. And we must fight against that. We must do something. We must protect those that are protecting us. Our police officers put their life on the line for us. We call them when we're in need. And that's what happened yesterday. They were called because somebody was in need. And they're the ones that lost their life trying to protect somebody. And that's not okay. My condolences to the family of the police officers that were lost, to the community of El Monte, and all the support from our city to El Monte, and especially to our police officers. I know a lot of them came back. They had already gone home, and they came back because they were called back because El Monte needed assistance. And they were there, as tired as they were there to assist. And I want you to know, Baldwin Park Police Department, that we are here for you. And I know a lot of times you won't accept that it hits hard and you may need somebody to speak to. It's okay to say, I need help. And I know, Chief, you're working on providing those services for our police officers. And I can't emphasize more to our department, our police officers. Reach out, talk to somebody, because this is not easy to deal with. It's too close to home. I will pray for you every night. I pray for you every night. And I worry about every single one of you that is out there. And I appreciate everything that you do. And I know how important your job is. But it's scary for me to know you're out there. But I appreciate that you put yourself on the line for us every single moment that you're out here. So thank you for everything that you do for us. Please make sure your fellow officers know that I know as a council, we appreciate you. We appreciate everything you do. Thank you, Chief, for providing those services that they need. Mental health is so important. I think being that all these tragic things are happening, they need to have somebody to speak to, and thank you for providing those services. Thank you again.
That is very good. What you said, Ms. Alejandra.
Yeah, I also want to offer my condolences. Very sad about what happened yesterday, and with the police officers and the families and their community. We send our prayers and offer our condolences, as well as the young woman and her son who were killed at the hands of a romantic partner. Both incidents, as I understand, were domestic violence, and it just reminds us that yes, there are resources out there for the community, including those that you mentioned, Mayor, and also here in the city of Baldwin Park, we created a program, the Domestic Violence Advocate. And so, for our community that needs any of those resources, they are available at no cost. And the goal is to, help prevent that type of situation. So just want to offer our condolences and prayers. Thank you.
Thank you. So we are moving on to public communications. City Clerk, is there anybody looking to speak?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, we had one request via email. Kiana Martinez would like to speak on several topics on the agenda or items on the agenda.
Oh, you did.
Start speaking your time. Start. Go ahead.
Hello, this is Kiana. I am commenting on multiple agenda items. I also wanted to make an announcement to the community. If you're a tenant and you have a court notice, you received an unlawful detainer and or a summons and complaint, there is a Stay House LA Answer Clinic happening tomorrow, June 16th. So they're hosting a clinic for tenants who receive a summons and complaint at West Covina Courthouse, which would be the area for the city of Baldwin Park, and anyone who that has a notice from the West Covina Courthouse is welcome to attend there. It is going to be Thursday, June 16th, tomorrow, 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. at St. John the Baptist Catholic Church. Address is 3883 Baldwin Park Boulevard in Baldwin Park. And I also wanted to comment on agenda item number 5 first. So I think this is great that we're continuing to pay for some of the crossing guard fees that we have, but I do believe that we should invest more into the crossing guards. I've had family members who are or were crossing guards, and this money was used to supplement their fixed incomes, seeing that their rent prices are getting higher without much that is keeping their rent lower. This is just one of the ways that we can support our community and the working class community to have a fair wage and I know that they decreased the crossing guards to less crossing guards. And I know our families, which we have students in the district, we feel safer when there are crossing guards every morning, every evening when the children are out of school, so that they can stay safe, because it is very dangerous. Traffic accidents happen very often, more than one of the most common ways for someone to get hurt, especially a child. On agenda item 4 and 7, of course, in the community, we don't want any more money going into the police. Surveillance and records to criminalize the community is not something that I support. This is not how we should be using the American Rescue Plan during a high record of unemployment, higher than the Great Depression. For agenda item number 15, with the budget, it would be great if the budget proposal was uploaded as soon as possible to the city website, to where it's advertised, so that people will look at it and will know where to find it. I know there was an environmental survey, and we can use that to see what the people want to invest in. We want to invest in community services and housing rather than policing. We would like a more participatory process where we have more intake on what the budget will hold. We should have more meetings and recommendations from the community. We have a survey with People United of Baldwin Park, where that was helped designed with the LA People's budget.
Next is Carla Garcia. She would like to speak on healthcare minimum wage ordinance. Okay, Leslie Brito, who will also speak on healthcare workers minimum wage ordinance.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor.
We need to make sure the mic is on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Leslie Brito, 105 Park Shadows Court, long resident in Baldwin Park, more than 30 years, and working as a healthcare worker in Kaiser Permanente for 25 years this year, all in pediatrics. I'm here to urge to pass the healthcare workers minimum wage as an ordinance. I'm pretty sure you're aware, for the past 2 years, my colleagues and I have been on the front line on this pandemic. From the beginning, we have to show up to take care of our patients, healthcare workers, despite a very high risk getting infected, and also working with not enough equipment. Working long hours. Until today, we can work 12 hours, including weekends. We're very exhausted. And through all these 2 years, till now, we are dealing with a lot of mental health, trauma, problems with sleeping, depression, afraid to go to work, not knowing what we're gonna deal today. We struggled right now due to the minimum wage that the nurses are getting paid with no benefits. We have nurses that are new graduates. I'm pretty sure you know that we have shortness of nurses. A lot of nurses rather to go work somewhere else due to the pandemic. And meanwhile, employers are making record of profit. I never saw many of our coworkers sick, including our doctors, and it's very depressing. I urge you to pass this ordinance. It's very important, and it's very personal for me, because I went through a stroke. And I know it's because of the stroke. I got the stroke because of the stress that I went through. I was planning to retire in 65. Now I'm ready to retire. But I want to leave a good benefits and a good environment for my daughter. She's a frontline worker too. That's why I'm here, to urge you to pass this law. I urge you to pass the healthcare workers minimum wage ordinance to retain and recognize outstanding healthcare workers on the city of Baldwin Park. Thank you very much.
Next would be Carla Garcia.
Good evening. I also am a healthcare worker in the city of Baldwin Park and have been for the last 25 years. Along with my colleague, I'm here to urge the City Council of Baldwin Park to pass the minimum wage for healthcare workers. As you know, we've been the front line during this pandemic. We've witnessed and seen so much that has affected us personally and professionally. We're in the business because we care. We've treated many of you, your family members, your friends, and we serve the community. Who can afford to live on less than $25 an hour? Our healthcare workers deserve it. We are healthcare heroes. So I come not only to speak on my behalf, but the behalf of my fellow colleagues and coworkers that serve Baldwin Park. And so again, with the many calls you are receiving and emails that you are receiving, we urge you to please pass the $25 minimum wage ordinance. And thank you.
Damian Martin, he is here to speak on consent calendar item number 13.
Should have worn my blue bow tie tonight. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Council, staff, public. My name is Damian Martin. I'm an attorney for one of the cannabis companies, Catalyst Cannabis Co., and the PAC, the Council for Economic Innovation in Baldwin Park. It's backing the Baldwin Park marijuana retail sales regulation taxation measure. I'm here speaking tonight to encourage you to pull item 13 from the consent calendar and have a robust public discussion on the matter. The reason being, reading the staff report, looks like putting this measure to the ballot is going to cost $163,000 of taxpayer money. Having said that, I believe that's the opinion of a lot of the council members on the dais that once that goes to the ballot, it's going to pass inevitably. On that note, the city could have spent like $20,000 on a poll and figured that out. I think it's going to go over 60%. I don't have a poll because I've been shaping policy around the region. Prop 64 passed in the city of Baldwin Park by 54%. Me and my client passed Measure PC in the city of El Monte with almost 72%. And we passed Measure PO in the city of Pomona with 59%. So if this is inevitably going to pass, why aren't you considering adopting this rather than placing it on the ballot and spending $160,000 on it? Beyond that, the costs are actually greater than $160,000. This measure is going to produce at least $1 million in annual tax revenue for the city of Baldwin Park. So that means if we put it to the election, it's delaying implementation of that revenue for another 6 months. So it's really actually $600,000. That's the cost, the opportunity cost to the city. Beyond that, and speaking of revenue, what the city's tried to put a sales tax measure on the November ballot. That should be the story of the ballot in November, not the healthcare worker ordinance or the cannabis ordinance. And that should be what's being communicated to the voters. Instead, it's going to be a total distraction with this cannabis measure. Most importantly, and another thing that's going to be delayed to implement, and the thing I'm most proud of, what we're trying to achieve and develop with this, my client with its retail operation in the city of Baldwin Park, is we want to develop a one-of-a-kind for the cannabis industry training center where we're intending to establish the retailer with United Food and Commercial Workers. It's going to be one of a kind in the cannabis industry. There's nothing like it. It's been inspired by the fact that this city has the training academy for In-N-Out Burger. So like I said, I encourage you to pull item 13 from the consent calendar, have a robust discussion, and hopefully adopt a measure here and now. If you do, I'll be sitting in the audience happy to answer any additional questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are all the requests we received, Mayor.
Great, thank you. Is there anybody looking to speak without filling out a card? Now's your time.
Greg Tuttle, business owner. I've been up here several times talking about the Royal Coach dilemma over there with illegal buildings all the way down the street. They've taken about half of their illegal structures down. But we seem to run into a wall now with the acting director, Ron Garcia, that seems to want to do favoritisms with Royal coaches. This stuff has got to stop. This is what the Lozano regime was all about. Favoritism for Royal coaches because they paid a lot of money for campaigns. Now, the building that they built, the body shop, was totally illegal. Ron's drummed up some phony stuff of building permits. There was never any building permits issued on this thing because you can't build out on a redevelopment area. That area is all under redevelopment. And even Monica stated when they brought in the rat-infested recycling thing down there by us, she specifically told Willie and told the guy that they can't stay there forever because that's under redevelopment for housing and stuff. But Ron says, no, that's not redevelopment. Well, he's a liar. He has constantly tried to stop the coded people to go over there, his own people, to do the job. When he meets with Willie, he meets privately. He doesn't meet with his code people to straighten this thing out. He's got his code people telling him the same thing. The reports are there. I've seen the reports. It needs to come down, the body shop, and it needs to come down on the two other buildings. They have one that they converted a house into a two-story garage for their tow trucks. All totally illegal. This was back in the Amy Harmon days. But we still have a director here that's on the take with this Royal Coaches and not doing his job. We need to stop this now. The people unfair with other people enforcing code enforcement, and we need to stop it now and go on and make Ron do his job, what he should be doing, and he shouldn't be a director. I can tell you that right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else looking to speak? No, I will move to close. Oh, yes, Marie.
Hi, this is me, Maria Contreras, and I just want to say how proud I am of all of the council and you, Mayor, for all you way you express not only for the team that won, but all the officers. It makes me very proud to share this life with you, and just want to say that. Congratulations, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Marie.
I don't know how to...
We all appreciate your kind words. You weren't here earlier, but we found out it was your birthday. Is that true?
It is, but it is just because I couldn't see the buttons to press. I tried to dial and I couldn't get in there, but finally I got in, and so I could just butt in. And yes, I am blessed today. It's my birthday, and thank you for your good thoughts for me.
Very nice. Well, Marie, you don't look a day over 21. So happy birthday. We're very glad you get to spend it with us.
Happy birthday, Marie.
Thank you so much. I love you guys all.
Okay, so we're moving on to the consent calendar. Are there any items council is looking to pull?
Mayor, I want to pull item number 6.
Okay, any other items?
Mr. Mayor, can I pull items 7 and 13, please?
All right, any other items?
I'll pull item number 12.
All right. Any other items? So I will make a motion to pass items number 1 through 11, excluding 6, 7, 12, and 13. Can I get a second?
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Emanuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila, Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you for that. City Clerk, item number 6, Councilmember Garcia, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. I think that this is a wonderful proposal. But when I look at the funding and the use of Quimby funds, and I think about some other projects that we are looking at, like the Family Service Center, the new park on Main Avenue, improvements to Morgan Park, and others, I'm just a little concerned about the price tag on this. And I just wanted to express my concerns about that because, especially since we were just having the discussion on budget challenges, I just wonder if the parks will be better used, with this type of funding. A mural is a wonderful idea, and I think it would be nice, but as far as usage, when I think about like the kids going to that little pocket park on Main Avenue, which, Mayor, that's been important to you, and I think it's a great, initiative, and the council has been very supportive of it. I would love to see the funds go into improvements that will really be utilized by our constituents. So I just wanted to express concern about that. I don't know if anybody else has any concerns.
Yes, Mayor?
Great. So I think Enrique said that the artists are on the phone, or so they can maybe give us a presentation, then we can answer the questions.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. We had invited the artist, and not because we're trying to dazzle you here, but it's part of a grander vision that all of you have, and having the baseball team here and the STEM team, and how they have been wonderful agents of placing Baldwin Park on the map, as you said, City Clerk. That this is what we're talking about here, and so the folks who are the artists behind this, well, you see them on this picture, but Mark, can you get Joe and Dan and Andrew on so they can make the presentation of the project?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, we're all here, Mr. Saldivar.
All right. Well, Andrew, take it away. I don't know if you start, or Joe, or all the three brothers look the same. So, just identify yourself by name.
Sure. No, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Saldivar. Good evening, Mayor Estrada and council members. My name is Andrew Westall, and I'm the principal and owner of Bear Demographics and Research, who would serve as the project manager for this project. I want to introduce you to Joe and Daniel Montoya Orozco. They are my stepsons, but they are also the sons of artist Juanishi Orozco, and they're going to walk you through the presentation this evening. And so without further ado, I'll turn it over to Joe and let Joe walk you through the PowerPoint.
Good evening, Mayor and honorable members of the council. Thank you for inviting us to make this presentation to you on what we believe will be a beautiful, monumental, and historic legacy that all of you will be remembered for in this community and for generations to come. My name is Joe Montoya Orozco, and this is my brother, Dan. We are the sons of Chicano muralist Juanishi Orozco and the grandsons of the Chicano poet and artist, the late Professor Jose Montoya, honored as the father of the Chicano art movement. Both were founders of the Royal Chicano Air Force. The RCAF, a group of professors and students who created murals, silkscreen posters, anything art related to help keep students in school, support the United Farm Workers of America, and advance our communities across this nation. They were recently honored by the California State Legislature on 50 years of arts, culture, and community activism, and most recently a clue on Jeopardy. We are the people in your community. We are Southern Californians by the way of Northern California, by way of Mexico and of Europe. We are the people of this world, and this art reflects that. Reflects our people here in Baldwin Park, here in Southern California, here on Earth. My brother and I have apprenticed and led on dozens of public art projects for nearly 30 years, including, next slide, please. The K Street Tunnel mural that links Old Sacramento to downtown Sacramento. Next slide, please. A tiled mural at the police substation in Sacramento. Next slide, please. A public art park amphitheater. Next slide, please. A Chicano park pillar in San Diego. I mentioned two of these specifically because of their magnitude. A tunnel 200 feet long and a freeway pillar nearly 4 stories in height. Also, to give some perspective on the history and qualifications that we have to successfully complete a large public art commission and to navigate the administration process with you. Next slide, please. Over the years, we have been commissioned to paint murals on interior and exterior walls, to create and install tile murals, and to create a mural on foam core, as we recently did for the NBA's Golden One Arena in Sacramento. Next slide. Our father Wanishi's unique and purposeful art uplifting the past, present, and future of our people in combination with the elements described above will provide a wonderful and unique gateway for the city as travelers move from the Metrolink station to the Zocalo Civic Plaza and Civic Center and beyond. A powerful impact worthy of artistic expression in the 21st century for the residents of Baldwin Park. Next slide, please. The murals will be spectacular, custom, high-resolution, full-color murals. There will be constant soft motion, movement that provides a beautiful reflection of shimmering color. Utilizing elements of the city's logo and motto, homages to the city's past as an indigenous land, farming community, and as present, a majority Latino suburban community, as well as incorporating the constant movement of trains and the stunning views of the San Gabriel Mountain lends itself to a journey, the journey through perpetual motion. Next slide, please. This art is indicative of our lives, our people, their lives and struggles, and our interconnected society. In our lives, our families have come from farm workers to internationally exhibited artists and educators in 3 generations. My brother and his wife owns a successful design studio, and I'm a project manager, digital producer, and visual technician. I also film and produce short documentaries for a national Latino civil rights nonprofit organization. This art is important in the movement in time as we are at a great juncture in our lives, an intersection, even more important in the specific place as Baldwin Park is the hub of the city of San Gabriel Valley. It's the hub of our people and their lives. This art helps to convey that movement of people practically and how they do that daily, and also over continents and time generationally. Next slide, please. Moving to this new fabrication is a natural evolution for all of us. It takes our technical skills and knowledge to a heightened level to address our times and the arc of history. Each panel will be comprised of digitally printed high-resolution squares that are lightweight and require no electricity to work. The manufacturer has been in business for over 15 years, and we have communicated frequently to assess a successful outcome. With your approval, they have affirmed they can manufacture their murals on a rapid turnaround. We also have a small prototype to show you to give you some sense of what the final product will look like. And as you can see, if you're looking at our monitor, this is a 4 foot by 4 foot prototype of what you'll actually see on the wall at 30 feet. So you can see it shimmering in all of its glory. We believe that with your approval, Baldwin Park will be the first city in America that commissions a public art project of this kind, scale, and magnitude. It'll be a testament to your service and commitment to your community that has earned the right to be surrounded in this beauty that inspires, uplifts, and serves as a source of cultural and civic pride. For us, it'll be an honor. We again thank you for this opportunity to represent our people and are available for any questions that you may have about our work. Thank you very much.
Councilmember Avila.
Thank you. Thank you for that presentation. Indeed, it is beautiful art that you have created. So thank you for that. But I actually was going to pull item 6 as well. Looking at all the projects that we have in place, we just recently purchased that land so we can create more parks. I agree that a mural would look beautiful there. It would enhance the area. But I honestly think that at this time, we should focus on finishing the projects that we have already started. We have the Zocalo that's coming here soon, so we need to make sure that we maybe allocate those funds in case we need more funds for the Zocalo. We also have, as Councilmember Garcia said, we have the Family Service Center that we need to work on as well, that Quimby funds can also be used. But most importantly, that park that is on the other side of town where there are no parks. We are very park poor in that area. And although I do like the murals, I don't think at this time would be a good time to bring this forth. In the future, I would definitely like to see the art come up. But right now, we have a lot of projects already in the works that I feel we should focus on. Our community would gain more from coming to the parks and walking their dogs and sitting in the shade underneath the new trees that we're going to be planting in that poor park area. Or again, starting up that family service center that it's so needed because the one we have right now is too small. We have ran out of room. Or continue our project with the Zócalo. I really think that at this time, those 750,000 should go towards the projects that we already have in hand, and maybe seek out grants, maybe art grants somewhere else, so that we could use funds for that, and we can continue to use the Quimby funds for our parks and for whatever our community needs. Thank you.
Great. So it's more than just public art. I think it's something that the community has actually wanted for a while. It's also part of creating a downtown. So we constantly hear this thing. We just heard it right now about the budget, that we never have money, that we want to see a downtown, but we don't put the work in to do it. And so, how do we expect to bring in a coffee shop? How do we expect to bring in a restaurant when we're not advertising ourselves or becoming a city that is welcoming to these businesses? And so it's not just, it's public art to the benefit of the community, but it's also public art to the benefit of ourselves. So, the same thing happened with El Zócalo, where we said, not right now, money could be used elsewhere. And 6 years later, 5 years later, we ended up bringing El Zócalo at the tune of $2 million more. So life is only getting more expensive, and so to me, this is an addition to the downtown. We have Papel Picado coming up. We have the Zócalo coming up. The Family Service Center, I think we're all in support of, but we've allocated money from ARPA for that. And then we're also filling out letters in support from Congresswomen. So I think that the biggest issue here is the cost. I don't think it's the art itself. But I do think that it is important. We're re-landscaping the Metrolink. We're trying to make sure that people use these parking spaces so that we don't have to keep building more. When we did the survey over the downtown, we were told that over 60% of our downtown is nothing but parking spaces, and they're not being used adequately. And it's really, it just becomes an empty area, becomes dark, and then and then we don't want to deal with the issues, or we don't have the resources to deal with the issues that happen with unused land. It becomes abandoned, it becomes blight, and honestly, just I think it causes negative behavior. However, and then it's also important to note that this doesn't affect the general fund, and that's one of the things that this is one of those reasons that the Quimby Fund is created, to bring in this type of public art. So if I'm all on board for calling on creating the starting of other parks, but I do think that this is important. So I would at the very least like to ask the council to consider, even instead of 4 of these, doing 2. We can do the front mural that faces the Metrolink and the one that faces the elevator. And I think it adds to the downtown. It makes it walkable. We're giving downtown a story, and we're making it so that it's not mix and match. So one year we build a Zócalo, different year we might build something else. Keeping in mind that the Cesar Chavez Foundation is building housing, and I think they themselves are also putting up public art. We have a theme here in the city now, and it's kind of very rooted in our roots. Very proudful of where we come from. We have the Judy Baca. We have the Judy Baca art, and that's a big deal. Judy Baca is a world-renowned Chicano artist. Cesar Chavez, world-renowned Chicano art activist, and having public art on that building is going to be great. The brothers are sons of the artist that painted under Chicano Park, so it adds to the Chicano pride that our residents have. So being able to park at the Metrolink, being able to make use of that, making people want to walk the downtown, because that's one of the things we talk about, walkability. Well, who wants to walk the downtown when it's dark and there's nothing to see after 6 o'clock, right? And so these are things that we have to start considering as well. Do we want to make revenue? We have 2 taxes on the ballot potentially, and that's fine. If we want to do taxes, we can, and we can push for taxes. But I think that we also have to show the community that we're doing our part to make sure that we're bringing in revenue, because the tax is only going to go so far, especially when you're considering that some of the businesses are sitting empty, and a big majority of them are also service related. So it is important that we bring in revenue generating businesses, and that we bring in public art. We don't have that, and if you look at many of these cities, the only cities that have public art, or somewhere where you want to go and hang out and check out the view, are high income areas. It's not cities like Baldwin Park. It's cities like Monrovia. It's cities like Glendale, and we can change that, and so to me, that's what we're here to do. We're here to change the downtown, and we're on track to doing it in a record time. So at the very least, I would ask the council to consider lowering the budget and doing half of it.
Mr. Mayor, if I may. Thank you. I too have concerns in regards to the high cost for creating a mural. $750,000 outside versus $750,000 going towards equipment, park enhancements that our residents get to experience and use each and every day. Now, I am certainly proud owner of several art pieces, through my family and others, and it's, I believe in art. I understand the expression that people do and so forth. That said, my recommendation would be to at least allocate up to $200,000 of the Quimby funds for a mural. But my suggestion would be, instead of having, and I appreciate, I've gone through the tunnel. I was just recently there. I've been in Chicano Park several times in the last couple of years. So I admire the work that your father and others have done to tell our story. But my suggestion would be, instead of having these artists, great artists amongst themselves, is that they work with our youth, they work with our students to create the design as to what will be there in this shimmering version or on a smaller scale, but no more than 200,000. Would I be supportive of doing a mural or this interactive perpetual design? I think that's what they called it. For our wall, because again, I do strongly believe that the rest of the money should go back towards either the Zocalo, the new park that we have over on Main, or near the Walnut Creek enhancements. There are other items. We are basically pulling aside $750,000 from the gym, from the senior center, from repairing that roof to allocate for this particular issue. Or this particular item. So again, I'm supportive of having a mural, having something there, but I would not support anything more than 200,000. And I would also highly suggest that we have the community involvement and our youth that are part of the design function versus having, with all due respect, having designers come in and tell us what they believe is a right vision for our city. I think it's the opposite way, including our community in the process of design, just as we did with the papel picalo and other items that we've done over the past. So that would be my suggestion and my recommendation to my council. Thank you.
Mayor, what do you think about maybe budgeting a mural, like the kind that the scale that you're proposing initially in the Zocalo project? And could that make sense to try to find, grant monies or funding, other types of funding sources for budgeting, packaging it into the Zocalo project? Because that would look nice too.
Yeah, and I think the Zocalo itself is already, I don't know if there's space there. So to me, the idea is that we're expanding the field of the Zocalo. So people want to use the parking at the Metrolink and they want to make their way to the Zocalo. They'll park. I mean, we're not gonna have any parking at the Zocalo. We'll have very minimal. So to me, it's more of an envisionment of taking that and adding that Metrolink parking lot so that people use it. Because I think now, very highly unused. We want to make it so that it gets used. So that's kind of how I see it. I think the Zocalo itself is already a kind of a done package. This is just an extension of that. So to me, what I see is that we have public art at the Metrolink, and that leads you to the Zocalo. And I mean, we don't have, fortunately, we don't have access to that paseo right now, but then the paseo leads you to Papel Picado, and that leads you to across the street. And so now the downtown has a flow, and it makes you want to walk around, and it makes you want to look, whether there's parking or not. You know that you're going to park at the Metrolink, and you have an experience going through it. But I do like Councilmember Hernandez's idea. I think that this type of project is very reminiscent of Papel Picado itself, where a community gave an input, and each one of those Papel Picado sheets, kind of tells a story for everybody. Different stories, different symbols coming together to make something that everybody's going to enjoy.
Mayor?
Yes.
And adding to what Member Hernandez said about involving our youth, at the Early Childhood Education Center, the main office is right there on the corner of Sierra Vista High School. I don't know if you've ever been in there. Inside the center quad area, the students have created a beautiful mural. So we have a lot of talent within our school system and our youth. Maybe we all should go and take a look at it. And that's art that the youth from Sierra Vista created. And it's something, I mean, today we presented our baseball players, our robotic team, and we are so proud of them. I mean, that would be amazing if we can display their art for everybody to see. And maybe one day they will become artists because of the work that they put up on the walls. I like that idea if this company can work with our youth to be able to provide those type of murals in our community.
Mr. Mayor, what I'd like to, if I may?
Yeah, go ahead.
What I would also suggest is let this be the first phase. Okay? Should we find additional grant funds that are available for this, we could add on, as we're working with these artists, see if we could add on to the vision that we want, right? So there's a first phase of the 200,000. What I'm suggesting with with community involvement and so forth, because then they're taking pride in it. And then the second phase is maybe it's the longer tower, or whatever the case may be. I'll let that decide amongst the community. And then through additional grant funds, we can work towards that. Where we again, as you mentioned, Mayor, Councilmember Avila, is this is a way to inspire youth through the creative process. And there's a way of perhaps hiring them as a young individuals through the summer youth program or through the other employment program that we have that can assist these artists with preparation and so forth, so they understand what it means, geometry, right? Because you're looking at scaling an image very large, and so forth. So there might be an opportunity to leverage this mural into various opportunities for other folks to be exposed to different careers as we're trying to uplift our community and, more importantly, our youth through this process. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah, and I think that's a great idea. We can do phases. Start off with one, see how it works out, and then as we move forward, I think it gives different groups of people in the city possibility of getting involved and having input.
To these artists, have you worked with the youth before and provided those type of services that we are looking into?
We have worked with the youth in the past, yes. High school students, middle school students, and summer projects.
Okay. So that would be, I think, a great project. And like you said, it would involve our community input on deciding on what kind of murals we could have there. And they would put the work in with the guidance of professionals.
Yeah, and if they're doing that, they can do the logo for the police department at the same time too.
Mr. Mayor, if I, along with Councilmember Hernandez's idea, in fairness to the process, what we have in today's report is what was the artist's best rough estimate. And I say rough estimate because, they only took it as far in precision as they could. I mean, some of the cost items are not fully vetted. One iteration that if you would be so inclined is, along with given, in this case, you said 200,000, there's a process that is a concept that's utilized in the construction engineering space, where you use what's called the guaranteed maximum price, where you go farther along in the design process until you know enough, not everything, but you know enough, in which then the company will give you a guaranteed maximum price that no matter what lies farther ahead, that price is not going to change. And if now with the great involvement of the youth that you brought up, that would be awesome. If the price were to land somewhere higher than 200,000, would you give us authority to maybe do that? If it were up to 300,000?
So
I would,
would it,
no.
could we sit down and actually meet with them? Because we've really never had any conversations with them of what they offer besides the presentation that they gave, but with the new direction, to see how they would work with us and the youth. And then we talk costs, because we really have no idea what that's going to look like now.
Yeah, and Mayor, if I may?
Instead of making a decision. Go ahead, Mr. Demon.
Yeah, so I share the same concerns as most of you there as well. I mean, for 750, we saw what we could get, right? But for $200,000, we're talking about $550,000 less. I want to know what we're getting for $200,000. So instead of giving direction and saying we're going to spend $200,000, go back to the drawing board, it would be wise to move this over and have the artists come back with what type of possible mural we would be looking at for $200,000, including our youth. Instead of giving direction and saying, go ahead and spend the $200,000 and really not have an idea of what we're going to be getting for $200,000.
Mayor, may I chime in here?
Yes, go ahead.
Thanks, Mayor. Mayor Pro Tem, I think that's a great question and concern. In general, our cost estimate for the one mural that you saw in the middle of the parking structure directly across from the Metrolink station, we estimate that cost at $175,000 for that 130-foot by 30-foot mural. Involving students and so forth might be a little bit extra. And as Mr. Zaldivar pointed out, really the biggest cost that we don't have a whole lot of control over is the installation. We have gotten some estimates from sign installation companies in two different ones, and that installation cost is about $75,000. But we think we can bring that down once we really get into the negotiations on this project. And so, in general, to answer the mayor and council's questions on this, we believe we can do one mural for $200,000. As I said, our estimate is $175,000. That large one that you saw in the presentation directly across from the Metrolink station. And as I said, there may be, we may have to consider some additional costs depending on the interaction with the students and how long that will take. But we feel very comfortable with the budget at this point. As I said, at $200,000 as suggested by Councilmember Hernandez.
So sorry.
One more question regarding the Zocalo, because we're all under the impression that we're gonna be breaking out ground in August, which it doesn't seem like a realistic timeline. How much money are we needing to complete that project?
For the Zocalo, I don't know if you're asking about that or this project, the mural project.
Yeah, no, for the, I'm sorry, Andrew, for the Zocalo, I guess this would be for either Enrique or Sam. Do we know how much we're off to complete that project?
So whether we have a rough estimate right now, of course, we have the $6 million, but I know with the cost escalation of construction and all the materials, rightly found it in terms of whether the $6 million would suffice or not. But Sam, when will we get a construction estimate and then a construction bid, actual cost?
Yes. Thank you, Enrique. And good question, Mayor Pro Tem. So we are actively working on this estimate. We're expecting the estimate to come in on Monday. We're working really hard trying to ascertain what the inflation and impact to construction activities are. So it's taking a little bit of time, but we're definitely going to be having that on Monday, and we plan to bring it back to the City Council at a study session to talk about those impacts and the construction timeline for Zocalo.
See, so this is my concern, and Mr. Orozco, you guys do a great job. I love your murals, and trust me, if money wasn't an issue, we'd say, go ahead and start doing this now. My biggest concern is that, yes, even though this is not affecting our general fund, it's coming out of our Quimby funds. And for me, I don't want to see projects that are not completed. I would want to complete a project, move on to the next, complete that project, move on to the next, making sure that we have enough revenue to be able to complete these projects. So let's just say, for example, the Zocalo comes in and we're now needing an extra $2 million to complete this project. Well, here's $750,000 that can be allocated towards that to try to complete that project. Because in a sense, the Zocalo is the biggest vision that we have in our downtown, which is going to be kind of our anchor of our downtown. So for me, it would be wise for us to complete that project, then, start moving on to the murals and what else we can add to the Zocalo. Second of all, we purchased that lot over on Joan Bridge in Maine for the purpose of a pocket park. I don't want to go and purchase a lot and then just still drive by there and see an empty lot. I want to start to see that develop. So these $750,000 would also go a long way for the completion of that pocket park over on Joan Bridge in Maine, which the people on the north side of Baldwin Park desperately need. They don't have any open space. We don't have any open space on the north side. So for me, it would be wise for us to try to complete these projects first and then start figuring out what we can add. And obviously this mural is something great that would benefit, the Zócalo, but I think it's best for us to complete the Zócalo project first and then move on to getting the murals and whatever else we're going to attach to it.
I agree.
I'll support that.
Yeah, I say we get that project done. Definitely keep that because I think the murals will enhance the whole area, but we don't have enough money to complete the Zócalo. But yeah, we have a mural. It's just not going to look good. So I think we should focus on finishing that project, start seeking funds, our projects, so we can, in time, get that mural up, but let's finish the Zócalo first. So, because that's the first project to enhance our downtown area.
Great. Does anybody have a motion?
You have a motion?
I will make a motion to hold this over or move this over until we complete the Zócalo project.
Second.
Clerk, roll call.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Pro Tem Danny Damian,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Manuel Estrada.
No. Thank you for that, City Clerk.
Motion passes.
We are at item number 7. Not sure.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Brought this item up just really quickly, Chief. Can you just share with the audience as to what the actual surveillance cameras are for and the purpose of what you're asking for, the additional funding and the additional cameras that are, and where they're going, more importantly, just so people understand in the audience, please.
Yes, sir. It was a joint project with myself and Manny Carrillo, looking at the surveillance system we already have currently in place. We are enhancing it, for not only for the safety of the public, council, and the employees, and also the visitors for City Hall facilities, as well as the interior of the police department. We lack the surveillance cameras inside the facility, our facility, so that I'm trying to enhance the overall surveillance system that we have in the interior of our facility.
And I believe there was a change from the amount of storage or the days of storage from, a month or two to now 12 months. That requirement is based on what?
Correct. That requirement is based on the requirements for the police department as far as a public retention act, and getting that, saving that so that we have video evidence. Video footage of whatever we need to comply with the Public Records Act.
Perfect. Thank you, Chief. I have no further questions unless my other colleagues have. I thought you were going to have other comments. If there's no other questions from any colleagues, motion to approve as is, number 13.
I'll second.
Number 7.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian,
Yes.
Mayor Manuel Estrada.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Then we have item number 13. Oh, number 12. I believe that was Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, I believe Justin Grisiu, the founder and president of Oath Country Foundation, is here to do a presentation.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Council. Justin Grace will be presenting. Thank you.
First and foremost, it's an honor and pleasure to be here this evening. So thank you, Mayor, City Council, additional support staff, and elected officials. So before we get started, I believe it's important to first note that our Chief Financial Officer here, Mr. Sandy Sanchez, retired naval officer, was raised here in the city of Baldwin Park. So that's right. So before we get started, it's important to note our mission and objective with the foundation. So our mission is to foster a community of connectivity in collaboration with partnerships and volunteers to educate on, advocate for, and strengthen veterans and first responders' mental health, and to provide street-side resources for the ones that end up homeless or low income in Southern California. Oath to Country Foundation is also sponsoring veterans and first responders strength training memberships and combat veteran psychotherapy treatment provided by a board-certified clinical psychologist. Next slide, please. Next slide. All right, so we are committed to improving the health and wellness of our community through our Boots on the Ground programs that we're currently running today. Here are a few ways we are contributing to veterans and first responders in and around the city of Baldwin Park. We are currently sponsoring combat veterans mental health psychotherapy treatment. We are also running a homeless veteran outreach program, beach yoga, beach runs and marches, inter-city suicide awareness events in collaboration with the city of Baldwin Park, food assistance programs, resources and to transitional homes and foster care centers. We're also sponsoring strength training sessions and memberships all across the LA County. But more notably, the reason why we are here today is to specifically address our Elderly Hero Home Restoration Program. And this is where the ARPA funds will help us have a greater reach to the veterans and families throughout the city of Baldwin Park. So our first home started in November of 2021. And that is the gentleman on the top right, the first home that we serviced in the city of Long Beach. Specific to veterans and first responders, these are individuals that were looking to help those that cannot simply help themselves. So right now we are servicing homes all throughout Southern California, as far as Long Beach and the gentleman right below located in Orange, California. So the way we are organizing and running this restoration program is we are not asking any expenses out of pockets for the family or hero. So we provide all the support staff, resources out of our own foundation pocket. These outreach days, as we consider, are advertised through the use of social media via Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as our website. We are also working in collaboration with Home Depots throughout the cities where those heroes currently reside. But the biggest barrier that right now that we are faced with is we don't have enough families to provide support to. We've requested on many occasions people to spread the message by word of mouth, as well as via use of social media. But we've been running across an issue of ego and pride, as I've been told by various families. People simply do not want to accept the help. So in partnership with the city of Baldwin Park, we would like to identify a great deal of local heroes in the city of Baldwin Park and families that do need the help. So many of the participants that come out to these events, it's quite honorable to see those individuals that come out and provide helping hands for several hours. To note, local nonprofits, as well as small business owners, military veterans, and first responders, our young Marines. These are individuals that are as young as 8 years old that are about to go off into high school. So it's really something special to see when we involve our youth in giving back the way that we do. We also have foundation supporters from all around Southern California. Both of the homes there are the individuals that you see here are, we've had approximately 50 to 60 individuals show up, provide support for that hero. Next slide, please. So the types of services that we're running are quite extensive because we have an array of individuals that show up with different talents, trades. We have individuals who are contractors, anywhere from union workers, and simply gentlemen like Sandy here who knows everything under the sun as far as plumbing and electricity and his ability to fix and repair most things around the house. So These are the list of items that we've provided thus far. Junk removal. That top photo there to the right, we actually packed Sandy's trailer 2 times over, and this was the second trip. The first one had a refrigerator, piano, TV, I don't know, dating back to probably the 80s. The gentleman was hoarding supplies for about 20 plus years, and the family, the daughter, not have the strength or resources to haul these items out of the home. That's when we received the call, because the family was in a state of desperation and black mold was building up around the home, and it led to a pest control issue. So what we did around both of these homes include yard cleaning, tree trimming, mowing, edging, planting new plants around the planters, indoor cleaning, sweeping, mopping, wiping, replacing light bulbs with energy efficient lights, plumbing. Sandy here is actually on the bottom right image, replacing an old toilet with the new one. So that includes sink repairs as well. Fence reconstruction, ground leveling, pest control, car washing, pressure washing, as well as one of the important traditions that we have is before we conclude our services for the day, we make sure that we have a flag ceremony where we mount a flag on the hero's home. Next slide, please. So again, to touch on the advertising aspect of how we organize these events, we are utilizing Instagram, Facebook, our website, word of mouth. These were the 2 more recent flyers that we put out on social media to request a community support. Next slide, please. I'd like to just recap the 2 elderly veteran homes that we've done. Top left image, we had a sink repair done. The middle top image, that is the father of a local church. He offered succulents to our foundation to plant at one of the heroes' homes. The young man to the right is a young Marine. And bottom left are our 2 board members. Actually, the middle bottom photo is a city representative here in the city of Baltimore Park who came out to our Orange County Restoration Day. And to the bottom right, we partnered with a local West Covina-based landscaping company to help us because we simply did not have enough resources to get the job done ourselves. So we needed some pretty heavy-duty equipment, and he was best utilized for that. Next slide, please. And I mean, it's really captivating to see the community coming together side by side to accomplish the mission for the day. And you know, not only are we restoring the home, but we're also restoring the faith of that individual that lives in that home. Both of the veterans that we've seen on the previous slides left with tears in their eyes when you could really see a lot of individuals coming together to really have an impact to honor and recognize their service to our country. And I mean, just a couple photos here. I mean, we had 2 trash hauls. The bottom far right image, that slab of cement must have weighed 150 pounds. And the veteran there to the bottom left fell over that because it wasn't leveled correctly, and it led to a hospitalization. So we made sure before we left that home to level, there's about 6 slabs of cement that we had to re-level so he can comfortably walk in his backyard. He didn't walk in his backyard for about 6 months as a result of that fall. And next slide, please. And again, these are just a couple more photos of different types of services that we're providing. I mean, we'll go through rummage, trash. I mean, we'll separate and preserve any types of items that might be found precious to that individual of the home. So it's really something special to see and to speak on behalf of the foundation and behalf of the individuals that are not here to share their testimony and experiences while working inside and outside of these homes. Our intention is to locate, again, more families, especially here in the city of Baldwin Park, because we are ready, eager, and passionate about this specific program. So I'd like to open up the floor to any questions or concerns.
Great. Just want to acknowledge that on your first set of pictures, that's actually one of our commissioners. That's Eric Pena.
Correct. You did a fine job that day. I do remember that.
I just want to say thank you for the presentation.
I'd like to
What-
say a few, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, go ahead.
One of the proudest things that I am about this organization that we started is that all of us are volunteers, no matter what position we have. Not one of us takes a salary. And when we have volunteers come in, they're all veterans that might have some issues, like post-traumatic stress syndrome, and they come out, and helping other veterans actually helps them. So we always have a lot of veterans and first responders that are helping us.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I just wanted to say this is wonderful what you're doing out there. I have a lot of family, military family that some are retired, some have served, has come back with post-traumatic syndrome. So this is greatly appreciated. What can we do to get more people to want to try this? Because you said a lot of people don't want to accept the help. What have you done in other cities to seek those veterans that we should be helping and we should providing these services for? How did you outreach to them to get them to say yes?
We'll go and talk to them and to their families. We try to explain to them that it's nothing personal. We're just going to help them and make them feel better. But mostly it's convincing their families, and then their families talk to the veteran most of the time because they know each other. They're closer to each other. So we try to go through the family first. And if not, then we'll go straight to the veteran and tell them, hey, we're all veterans. We're all the same. I give them my history. Some of the other guys talk to them about their history. I served 26 years in the Navy through Vietnam and Desert Storm. So we tell them what happened to us. Actually, I don't talk about Vietnam. I'm sorry.
Thank you for serving.
I still have problems with that one. Anyway, but that's what we're trying to do. We're going to help them.
And I think that's what they need to hear from people like you that know exactly what they're going through because you understand them. And that's what's so important. And we appreciate that.
I don't like to see one veteran commit suicide.
I agree. And that's why what you're doing is so important. And so what you need from us is to provide a list of veterans that they may need that assistance, and you will reach out to them?
Veterans, families, seniors,
first responders.
If we're able to work with maybe possibly code enforcement to identify families or homes that need some significant work around the house, we'd like to identify that family and make contact so that we can arrange an outreach day to provide the services that are needed so that the home is up to code.
That's good. So Ron, maybe we can reach out to code enforcement since they're the ones that are out in the community more than us and see which are the homes that may need some assistance, and then we give them the list so they can come and reach out and provide the services once you talk to them and get the okay from them and to the family. So Ron would be a good contact for you so he can reach out to our code enforcement. But thank you so much for providing this service. It's so important that we do help our veterans because we don't know what they're thinking. We know they had a traumatic experience, but we really have no idea because we were not there and you were. So I think you are key to be able to help them and just provide those services and be there as a listening ear. So thank you so much for doing that.
I think one of the more important things I'd like to bring up are the remarkable young men and women that were up here to receive the recognition for their projects as well as the CIF championship. I think having access to working with local high schoolers that are pursuing next level education into college, we're an open door foundation. I'd like to write off service hours and have these young men and women work alongside us to experience what it's like to give back to their community where they live. In a city where they can take pride in to see that their work has an impact on those, and it'll help bring a great deal of understanding what many of these individuals have been through. So if we can really tap into working with Baldwin Park High School as well as other local schools here in the area, that's where we will have the greatest amount of impact and pave the way for future younger generations and really set the precedence for community engagement and having that impact.
And I'm sure we can do that. We have a great working collaboration with the school district. So we can talk to them. They can provide us the students. I don't think there'll be a problem with that at all. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Yes, Councilmember Hernandez.
Again, thank you very much for being here. You've all made a wonderful impact, positive impact in our city with the marches recently, twice now in the last 2 years. As you know, we have over 1,000 plus veterans living in Baldwin Park. Probably about 400 or so, probably homeowners or a home. So that's a big group that we can certainly help. And more importantly, also those seniors, right? Because these folks get to help other seniors. And Ron, I know at least 5 homes that I will personally go out with you and make the introductions to you once you're ready for that to help them. Because it's just like you said, we've gone through a similar program like this when I worked in the city of Los Angeles, and it's great. So I'm really happy to Mayor Pro Tem and Councilmember Garcia for bringing this partnership with us. I'm sure this is just seed money, which will go even further. But like I said, it's fantastic, and I can certainly help organize the Kiwanis Club, the key clubs, both Sierra and Baldwin Park High School. I think there's about 80 kids, and we work with them on a monthly basis on service projects. And that's part of their nature. That's part of their DNA is to help others. So that's another resource that we can certainly connect you with. So we can do that for you, of course. And we'll be out there, of course, when you find those homes. I guarantee you all of us will be out there in some way or another.
Mayor.
Yes, Councilmember Garcia.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to welcome Mr. Sandy Sanchez to your hometown. How nice to see you here and to see that you'll be, giving back to a community that was very important in your upbringing, it sounds like. So
I remember lots of summers swimming in the pool outside.
yes, I remember too, across from Thrifty's, right? So that's wonderful. It's welcome back. And it's nice to have you serving this community in this way. And I also want to thank you for your service. And our city attorney, Robert Tafoya, also served in the Marines. Oh, Navy. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Uh-oh. Fighting words here. So I think it's a wonderful program, that you will be in this way that you'll be serving our community. What I wanted to suggest is Enrique and Ron, if you could introduce OTCF to Jose Martinez at the Valley County Water District.
Absolutely, yeah.
And see if you can use this program to grow it and be able to access maybe some of their programs and their funding for drought tolerant landscape. And so, you can maybe perhaps incorporate that into this restoration model if they're able to partner. So if you could make that introduction. And then also Froilan Mendoza, who's our superintendent of Baldwin Park Unified School District, to put the organization in touch with the students. And then also we can get them a letter of support for Home Depot, because that will be a natural partner.
Yes, absolutely.
So thank you for stepping up and partnering with the city in this capacity. I think it'll be a wonderful program.
We're excited, and it's truly an honor. Thank you.
It is. It's our pleasure.
Mayor, if I may.
Thank you.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. Justin, Mr. Sanchez, I want to say thank you so much, Mr. Sanchez, for your service. Thank you for doing this. There's a lot of veterans out there that are in desperate need of what you guys do, not only to help them restore, and do repairs of their home, but also to be that listening ear, to have someone to talk to, someone that they can relate to. And I'm very excited for this partnership that we can start to build on. So if, my colleagues don't have anything further, I would be proud to make the motion to approve item number 12.
Yeah, so just before we vote, I do want to just, I want to thank OTCF. I know that before OTCF came out at the perfect time when we were trying to fundraise for the American Legion. So it's great to have a good neighbor, a good partner. Last year, just a couple of months ago, we benefited the school district. So I think it's very important that we do support, your mission and support our veterans here in the city of Baldwin Park. And of course, work with you because you've been working with us for the last 2 years and making things happen for other people. So it's important that we help you make things happen as well. Mayor Pro Tem, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to pass item 12.
A second.
City Clerk, roll call.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Pro Tem Damian,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Emanuel Estrada.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you for that, City Clerk. And so we are at item number 13.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Have a nice
It's an
evening.
honor and privilege. Thank you.
Thank you. I pulled this item for a couple items. Two, I just want to make sure people understand and our residents understand what this actually means and why we're going through this process. So perhaps, I don't know if Enrique or Robert, if you just kind of want to walk us through, perhaps Robert, if you can walk us through as to what this ordinance actually means for us to go, excuse me, the resolution means for the city and the residents.
Thank you, Councilmember Hernandez. I do think it's important that the residents and the citizens of Baldwin Park understand the measure. First of all, as Mr. Martin mentioned when he came up, this is a privately sponsored initiative. So this is a private entity that sponsored this ballot initiative. And the process is they have to collect, well, first of all, they have to drop the initiative, which is the ordinance. And so this is not actually an ordinance that was written up by the city of Baldwin Park or by anyone related to the city. Once they drop the ordinance, then they have to take it out and they have to get petitions signed. And if they get enough petitions signed, they then submit it back to the city. Then the city has procedural requirements that they have to do. The city clerk's office has to look at the signatures and determine which ones they're going to send on to the registrar of voters, then sends it on to the registrar of voters, and the registrar of voters determines whether the signatures are valid or not. And if there are enough valid signatures, then they'll send it back to the city. And then the city's procedural requirement is to do exactly what we're doing now, which is determine whether or not it's going to go on the ballot or whether the city would vote straight away on it. The city council appears to have elected to send it to the voters so that the voters can decide, and then it would go on the November ballot, I believe. So this is just a procedural mechanism that the city has to go through. We're required by law to do that once an entity like Mr. Martin's firm has gathered enough signatures. So that's really what we're doing now, is going through procedural requirements that are required by state law.
I appreciate that. And can you highlight, a couple of the items should this move forward? Should this move forward to the residents?
Certainly. Thank you, Councilmember Hernandez. So the initiative authorizes the sale and delivery of medical cannabis and cannabis products to persons 18 years and older, and adult use cannabis and cannabis products to persons 21 years or older. The initiative also sets forth the location, the design requirements, application procedure, and establishes a permitting structure for cannabis retailers. So this will be retail cannabis, where you actually have a brick and mortar store. Someone will walk in and they will purchase cannabis, either medical cannabis or adult cannabis, from that retail establishment. The initiative also specifies the security measures, restrictions on alcohol and tobacco sales, general operating requirements, and other obligations of the cannabis retailer. The initiative would require a cannabis retailer with 2 or more employees to enter into a labor peace agreement. The city's chief executive officer is allowed to inspect the cannabis retailer premises, or his designee, of course, without notice, and enforce the local cannabis regulations. Material violations of the regulations are deemed nuisances and may be prosecuted as a criminal misdemeanor. Again, this is all in the initiative that was presented by the private entity. The initiative, if adopted by a majority of the voters voting on the measure in Baldwin Park, would also impose a general tax on cannabis retailers. The tax for retailers of medical cannabis or medical cannabis products would be 0.5 of the gross receipts from the retail sale of the medical cannabis or medical cannabis products. The tax for retailers of adult use, so you've got the medical use and the adult use, shall be 4% of the gross receipts from the retail sale of adult use cannabis or adult use cannabis products. So for the medicinal, it's 0.5. For the adult cannabis use, it's 4%. The initiative allows the city council to increase or decrease the tax rates by ordinance without voter approval, so long as the maximum tax rates do not exceed 5%. Taxes are due on a quarterly basis, and non-payment of the tax would result in penalties and interest in the unpaid tax.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you for that summary. I really appreciate that, because I think the other thing that, if you could just kind of highlight just specifically, and I'll ask one last question or one last comment. In regards to retail, what does that, should the voters approve that, what does that look like? Where would the retail shops be?
Well, under this particular ordinance, they have this initiative, they've established who could and could not receive a retail license. And so it would require that someone have 50% interest in a cannabis business in the city of Baldwin Park on or before July 1, 2021. And as of the date of the application submitted, entered into a development agreement with the city prior to January 1, 2018. So what this establishes is the only people that can get the retail license are people that have already been in the city since 2018 with the development agreement. And there's also some other requirements, like they had to have paid at least 1/4 of mitigation fees. And essentially, the location will be wherever that business is located now, that it fits under this initiative. Or if that business were to relocate, and it could relocate to some place, and that would be an industrial commercial location within the city, because that's the only place we allow our cannabis operations. So whatever, and right now there's no more than 2 locations that would qualify for a priority retail cannabis business permit under this ordinance based on who we have here in the city today.
Again, thank you. I think that was really important, because I did receive a lot of comments and concerns from residents. They didn't necessarily understood. Some of them actually, did not sign the petition that was, when individuals were going to their homes. Some did, but they just needed, I think as I shared with them, provided some clarity in regards to the retail component. I think that was the biggest, not fear, but unknown that they didn't clearly understand. So I appreciate for that clarity. And then I think
Mr. Martin.
Mr. Martin, I do appreciate, the piece around the workforce development. I support that. I support the workforce development, especially if there's an industry that we can cultivate, well, no pun intended, that we could help support in the future. That is something that I'm 100% behind. I know there's workforce development grants through the High Road grant is one of them. There's other opportunities. So, I am committed to, supporting you on that part, if you guys are still interested in doing that moving forward, along with UFCW, because I know they have been, big step in moving in this direction and trying to unionize, but also provide that training and that future workforce for this cannabis industry. And I think it's just a better opportunity, especially when it comes to the equity component of it, to help, uplift those individuals as we move forward. So thank you. Any other comments from my colleagues?
Really quick, I just want to really highlight that this is not a city-initiated measure. This is a procedural item. We are required by state law to take this action, but it's actually been initiated by a third party. And so do you want to add just quickly?
Yes, that is correct, Councilmember Garcia. So this was brought to the city by Mr. Martin's firm, and Mr. Martin's private firm is the one that drew up this ordinance. So even though it's an ordinance that looks like or sounds like the city may have done it, we didn't do it. That was drawn up by a third party, brought to the city, and the city is required to go through this process now. There's really no options for the city at this point. Present it to the voters, and the voters will decide whether or not the measure will become law. But it's not sponsored by the city. In fact, it's important to note the city cannot, as a matter of law, take a position in favor or against this particular initiative. You can, as a private individual, if you decided to support something, you can. But as a city council member, nor as a city are we allowed to take any position in favor or against this initiative.
And thank you, Robert, for that. And I think it's important people understand that by us approving this item, we're just following state law. It's just a procedural item. It's not the city taking a position on this initiative.
That's correct. And we're really not approving or disapproving it. All we're really doing is putting it on the ballot, which we're required by state law to do.
Okay, thank you.
With that said, if there's no further comments or questions, I'd like to move forward and adopt item 13 as stated. Motion?
For a second?
I believe. Somebody's got to do it.
Second.
City Clerk, roll call.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila, Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian,
Yes.
Mayor Emanuel Estrada.
No.
No.
No. City Clerk,
Motion passes.
okay, thank you. And I believe those are all of our items for the consent calendar. We do have a public hearing for item number 14, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Baldwin Park confirming the Advisory Committee's report and levying the assessment in the Baldwin Park Citywide Business Improvement District for fiscal year 2022-2023. So I will officially open the public hearing for anybody looking to speak in favor of that item number 14. City Clerk, is there anybody looking to speak?
Mayor, we did receive a request from Kiana Martinez to call her. She would like to speak on this item.
Great. Is she looking to speak in favor or against? Does she state?
She did not state.
Okay, that's fine.
Mayor, okay, so she's clarifying she would like to speak on the public hearing for the budget. We'll call her back.
Yeah, that's the next. Great. Is anybody looking to speak? If not, I will declare the public hearing closed. I'll make a motion to pass item number 14.
Mayor, I have, before you pass the item,
Yes, go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
yeah, last year when we went through the same budget public hearing, we stated that we were going to look into the IT advisory committee. Here we are a year later. Are we going to look as to putting business owners or members of the business association, community members onto this IT advisory committee, or are we going to continue with the E-team being on the advisory committee? And then my second question is, when was the last time the E-team met regarding this BIT advisory committee?
I'll start with the last question first. We met last week, and to your point, Mayor Pro Tem, and yes, it was around this time of budget, as you recall, that you had asked that we incorporate the business community. And I know it has been regrettable, but it's all on us. The committee of not having done the incorporation of the business members. The assessment remains the same, no increase in the assessment, not because, but want to make it clear that there's no increase being proposed in this hearing. And so we will get to the task of incorporating the business community soon after this meeting.
Okay, yeah, if you could just get back to council, let us know when we can start the process of reorganization of the BIT Advisory Committee, so that we can make sure that we get this before the next year's budget.
Yes, so maybe we can bring the proposed reorganization at the time that you will consider the amendments to the budget on July 20th.
Perfect, thank you, Enrique.
So there was a motion, Councilmember Garcia seconded. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Emanuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila, Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you for that, City Clerk. At this point, we move on to item number 15, adoption of the budget for fiscal year 2022-2023 for the City Finance Authority, Municipal Financing Authority, Housing Authority, and Successor Agency. I will open up the public hearing to anybody looking to speak in favor. Anybody looking to speak in opposition? Chief Deputy City Clerk, go ahead.
Yes, we will call Kiana Martinez. She requested to speak on this item.
David, we're timing the speaker. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hello, this is Kiana, calling to comment on the public hearing for the budget. It would be great if it's not already done, if the proposal could be uploaded on the city's website to where it's easily accessible, and we will reach out if it's not. Not exactly sure how there could be a more participatory process on discussing the budget, a discussion, not like a public hearing where we're not able to discuss the issues versus just hearing what the issues are, to have a discussion and to have a clear understanding of what would be put into the budget. There was an environmental survey some time ago during the time that the new council members were in place, where the community did express different things that we want to invest in. We also have a community survey with People United of Baldwin Park, where about 300 plus people filled it out to say what would they like to invest in regards to the budget, since it's our taxpayer dollars that are going into it. And it would be great if we can have a meeting or something like that to where it's a more participatory process. Some of the ideas from our survey and our meeting over the last year were divesting from the police, including body camera surveillance, children's police cadets, police explorers, police vehicles, weapons like guns and military weapons in jails, and investing in community-based mental health services. Immigration and legal services was also a big one. Crossing guards, rental assistance, attendance right to counsel or criminal charges of right to counsel, community land trust, school psychologists, since we only have one school psychologist for multiple schools, which is not acceptable. And language justice was a big one that we heard throughout our meetings throughout that time. And so that's something that we want to have and have more discussion around. If anything, discussing amendments to the budget would be a good one as well, if there's not time for that. So that would be my comments, and also for Councilmember Hernandez's request to have a gun buyback. Police take the guns back and they may keep them or resell them, which is scary to see that they'll have those guns in their hands. And like Councilmember Avila said, which I appreciated, is that if you can all write a letter to our state representatives to ban AR-15 rifles and have background checks, that would be great. And if we do a gun buyback, then destroying and dismantling the guns so they cannot be used anymore. So that is my comment. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for that. Is there anybody else looking to speak? If not, at this moment, I will make a motion for item number 15 and approve the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget for the City of Baldwin Park, the Finance Authority, the Municipal Financing Authority, Housing Authority, and the Successor Agency. Can I get a second? Second by Councilmember Garcia. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia, Councilmember Alejandra Avila. Yes. Councilmember Paul Hernandez.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Thank you for that.
Mayor, excuse me if I may, based on the budget hearing at 5 o'clock, I did want to mention that there will be modifications made to the budget regarding the freezing of the positions for the various departments until the next meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then we go to the City Council acting as a successor agency. There is a consent calendar. I will make a motion to pass that consent calendar. Can I get a second?
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez. Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Thank you for that, City Clerk. And then we have a public hearing. So what I'm going to do is that I am going to, since we are concurrently meeting with all the other finance authorities, I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing for all items, all agendas regarding the budget. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the public hearing regarding the adoption of the budget for fiscal year 2022-2023 for the City Finance Authority, Municipal Financing Authority, Housing Authority, and Successor Agency. Is there anybody looking to speak in favor or opposition? City Clerk, is there anybody?
Here.
Great. So I will move to officially close the public hearing, and I'll make a motion to and I believe since we're meeting concurrently with all, I can make a motion to concurrently adopt all the budgets for all the authorities. So I'll make a motion to pass the budget for all concurrent agencies meeting today.
A second.
And there's a second. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you for that, City Clerk. And we do have a consent calendar for the Housing Authority, so I will make a motion to pass that consent calendar. Can I get a second?
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Emanuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez, Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you for that, City Clerk. And our last Finance Authority, they do have a consent calendar for the Treasurer's Report, so I will make a motion to pass that item. Can I get a second?
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Monica Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Paul Hernandez, Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mayor,
Yes.
before you close, can I didn't put it on the agenda, but.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So I'm really excited. We talked about the Zocalo and hopefully getting that project starting really, really soon. No pressure, Sam. But I was also looking into just not that long ago, we put a process in and what we need to do in order to name facilities. So I would like to start that process and looking into possibly naming the Zocalo after Senator Susan Rubio, since she has been an icon to this project when it first, when the talks about the projects first started. Her along with Councilmember Cruz Baca, and back then at one point everybody was in favor to start the Zócalo, and the process fell through, but here we are again. We started the process, we all agreed on it, and now I was able to get us $6 million to get that project going. So we have named the Hilda Solis Park when she gave us money for that. So I really would like to look into and starting that process on naming the Zócalo after Senator Susan Rubio. I just learned that the two cities she gave money to for parks was our city and the city of La Puente. And the city of La Puente is going to name one of the parks after Senator Susan Rubio. And I feel that being one of ours, and I mean ours because she is a resident of Baldwin Park. She was the city clerk for many years, then she became councilwoman, and now she's our senator representing us and providing that $6 million. I think it would be the best thing for us to do to work on that process and naming the Zócalo after Senator Susan Rubio. So if we can get that process going, I don't recall the details on what the process were, so we can get that process going and naming that after her. Thank you.
Mayor.
Yes, Councilmember Garcia.
I just want to say that I think it would be appropriate. We have a park by the name of Hilda Solis Park for the same reason. She provided funding for the improvement of that park. And so, it's something I think we should absolutely consider and based on the policy. But in addition, I wanted to mention that last weekend, I attended the WELL conference. And I wanted to congratulate Councilmember Hernandez, who's the executive director of WELL. And it's Water Education for Latino Leaders. It was very well attended, very well organized, and very informative. So I want to thank our staff for, approving the conference for me. I thought it was I walked away with a lot of information, understanding the challenges that we have when it comes to water issues locally and across the state. So wanted to give you kudos.
And sorry I couldn't make that conference, Councilmember Hernandez. I had something else that I had forgot about it. But thank you for the invitation.
Great. Is there any other comments, questions, concerns from council? If not, it looks like we are ready to adjourn. So I will move to adjourn the meeting. Can I get a second? Any objections? If not, good night, everybody.
Good night, and thank you so much.
Happy birthday,
Memory.
Memory.
Thank you. Night.